How are you?
I'm well. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for taking time for me. I appreciate it.
Nice to talk to you again.
Last time we talked was, I think, right after the September ACMs, which was sort of
Yes, it was
a weird feling to it. And you were like, "Yeah, it was definitely an
very.
interesting atmosphere in there."
It was. It was not. Well, I mean, I didn't know what to expect. I guess doing it without an audience. Everybody in the wings with like the visors and the masks, and microphones in Ziploc bags that you have to come and get yourself out, and just like it was. The protocols backstage were unbelievable. So
Was this
it,
time a little easier, especially since you had a co-host in Mickey? Because she did awesome.
yes, it was much easier to have Mickey helping me. I loved having her there, and um, if I get to do that again, I would definitely want Mickey there doing it as well. She's such a natural as well.
What was something that you noticed? I mean, it's just a few months. We had the September one, and then we had sort of the regular timing one. What was just some minor differences that you felt, just even internally, about it being, a little bit safer, a little bit more open?
Yeah, certainly between the last September one and putting it back into the timeline of April, um, enough time had gone by where it did feel like I mean, at the very least, the top row of the Opry House had quite a few healthcare workers up there in the audience. So there were people up top, which was nice to have people back in the house because it was clapping, which we had none of in September, just dead silent, which is very intimidating and strange. Actually reminds me of my club days.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's you got the one guy sort of half asleep at the bar, and he's like, "Are you still
Oh,
here?"
on a good night, we had one person, yeah, but I swear to you, we played some shows, nobody, literally nobody.
Not even
So
family or
it
friends would
was,
show up.
no, because we were touring. So I
Oh
remember
yeah.
we played a show in, I think, Phoenix, Arizona, and we came out and the curtains opened and there was nobody out there.
So what do you at that point? Because you're such a performer, and you're not going to half-ass it at all. You just go out and you do your full thing, and you're like, "Let's just pretend there's clapping," right?
I remember us just playing like, okay, it's sound check. Let's just sound check for an hour and play like this place is packed to the rafters and, hope that one day it might be.
I have to tell you, because that's what it felt like to me. I'm a lover of the Keith Urban Show. You're so gracious to always come to Canada and always come see us, and it is so high energy, and there's always something new, whether it's a spotlight to the third deck, bringing a young girl down in Edmonton to come on stage with you. And,
Right.
and then I'm watching Tumbleweed at the ACMs, and I'm like, this guy's not taking it off. This feels like I'm at a fully packed 30,000, 40,000 people Keith Urban show. So it was awesome to watch that.
Thank you. Thank you. I was glad we got to do that song. It's probably also born out of frustration of wishing we had been playing that song every night for months and months and months since the record came out, playing it live, and I'm just so dying to get these songs off of the speed of now into a live setting, because that's when these songs really start to get oiled and really find new life is bringing them on stage every night. We haven't gotten to do that, so my fingers
That
are
felt
crossed
like
it's
an
coming.
opening to me of the new Keith Urban show. Is it's kind of
I've had
dark.
so
Everybody's
many
got the
people say
hush.
that. It's so crazy, Greg. I literally have had half a dozen people since the record came out saying, well, that's got to be your opening track, isn't it? So
Is that how you approach it? Do you listen to others' feedback, or you just go with what feels good for Keith?
all of the above.
Yeah.
All the above. I mean, I'm playing for everyone, so I want to hear what they say, what they think, what they feel. I know one thing: no matter how much time and effort goes into building a show and a set list, and thinking this is it, it's going to change so much in the first 2, 3, 4 weeks of being on the road. You get out and you play the show, and you're like, "Woof, that song didn't work," or and a lot of times it isn't the song, it's just where it's placed. It's like it just did not work there. Okay, let's rethink that. And it's crazy. You have to put a boat in the water to see if it's gonna float. It's crazy.
What was fun for me is knowing that Tumbleweed, you were playing it for the first time in front of anybody, and I was hearing it for the first time with you playing it live. Are there any
Right.
nerves? You've been doing it so long. You've been doing so many new songs for so long in front of people. Are there any
Yeah.
nerves that it's ACM night and I've never done this show really live with my band before?
Oh god, yeah. Absolutely. uh, because it's the playing and singing simultaneously that is sort of all muscle memory stuff that normally is achieved by rehearsing and playing and being out on the road. That all starts to come together. Um, so it felt very odd to be in that environment, without having had that song out live. So yeah.
And once you get done, you can't relax because you're hosting. So do you get 2 seconds to go, okay, we did it. All right, suit change, back on stage.
I tell you, the good thing about that show that night was how we could utilize all the other venues around town. Obviously you can't put too many people in one space at one time. So the way around that was to have multiple venues, which we did back in April. But we expanded that out even further. I mean, Little Big Town were on Lower Broadway, and there was people down on the riverfront, and it was a Bluebird Cafe. It was fantastic to be able to utilize all these great places around Nashville.
But have you ever had a moment, and it didn't happen at the ACMs, but every entertainer's had the moment where you forget the word. So do you do the watermelon trick? Do you stop it down and try and redo it again? What do you do when you're up there and you're like, I have no idea what's coming next?
Here's what I think about when you mention about award shows and forgetting something. We were playing the ACMs in Las Vegas, can't remember the year, and we were up getting ready to play, and we were playing to track, except I'm playing live guitar, including a solo, and really singing. And the amplifier blew up, and we're just about, they're coming out of commercial, we're up next, and my amp blew. So they found another amp within seconds and plugged that in. It blew. They changed the fuse blew, and I look at my guitar tech first day on the job. He's drenched in sweat, he's white as a ghost, and I'm hanging onto my guitar going, and there's a guy with a clipboard and a little headpiece going, "Are we ready? Are we ready?" And I'm like, "No, I got no guitar. There's going to be a big no solo moment. And he goes, we got to go. Yes or no?" And I'm like, "We have no guitar." And he goes, in that moment, I was thinking, what happens if this amp doesn't work? What happens? I found out they just move on to somebody else. That's what happens.
I thought you'd become the air guitar champion, and everybody would just love how you. Yeah.
Literally, my band is on stage. We've got the curtain closed, ready to open. Dude with clipboard is like, "Are we going or not?" And I went, "We're not going." And he went, "All right, moving on." And they went, and they're like, "Off the stage, everybody off the stage, next band." And I'm like, I'm walking off with my guitar going, "What the hell? What happened? What?"
There's Gary LeBonc's Rascal Flatts is on stage now. You're like, "What? How did they?"
We didn't get to play, and I'm backstage going, "What the hell?" And so, yeah, I get very nervous playing live on award shows because everything can go wrong.
Well, the last award show that sort of started this was when you debuted One Too Many with Pink. That is now #1 in Canada. So congratulations.
Thank you so much.
How do you celebrate that? You've had so many of these moments during a pandemic when you have more downtime. Do you find yourself getting to celebrate these little moments more?
I want to say firstly, though, #1 in Canada for the very first time anywhere in the world. It's moving up charts, including the US, but it's #1 in Canada for the very first place anywhere. And that's happened to me so many times. And in some cases, I've had songs that only went to #1 only in Canada. So
why do you think there's such a love affair between Canada and Keith? Because you love us just as much as we love you. We can feel it.
Yeah. It's something in our colonial blood, or I don't know what something to do with the Queen. I don't know. It's just, who knows? This weird mix that we are as countries. Canada and Australia, I think, has a very similar vibe. It's vast. It's connected to the monarchy, but we're very independent. We've got our own music, sometimes. Our own people, our own thing. It's a big mix of people. It's a very storytelling country. It's a big melting pot of music that's uncategorizable. You guys and us have been influenced by America, England, our own country's music. And I think we have so much in common that when I first played in Canada, I could tell. I'm on stage playing and I'm like, these people, they get it. They get this. I don't know what I do, but they get it. And I love it here. And I've always loved coming to Canada ever since day one.
Well, I have to test your love of Canada. I've got a bunch of only Canadian treats, and I want you to say yes or no to whether or not you've tried it, okay?
Oh my God. Okay.
Smarties,
Yeah,
Crispy Crunch,
definitely.
Coffee Crisp.
It's okay.
Not a fan. Ketchup chips, and all dressed chips.
What's the all dressed chips?
It's like a mix of every flavor, and it's the best thing you'll ever have.
Oh, I haven't had that.
When you come through Calgary next, I'm going to have a big bag of all dressed chips for you to try because it's going to be game changing for you. Are you a chip guy?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wine gums.
They're okay. Yep. We have them in Australia too.
Poutine.
Duet?
Poutine.
Oh, isn't that the fries with
the cheese curds and gravy?
With the cheese, yeah, pretty good. Yeah.
And the last one
is the artery deluxe.
Last one is beaver tail.
Haven't had beaver tail.
Okay. Next time we'll have you a beaver tail and some all dressed chips. Last one, because I know you're busy for me. It is Cinco de Mayo. Are you hard shell or soft shell when it comes to tacos?
I like hard. I like hard shells, but I'll do soft as well. And I think you can blend them together, and it's pretty spectacular.
What is your secret on your taco? What do you have to put in there?
I'm pretty boring with tacos. I'm not a big spice guy. My wife loves spice through the roof. She's yeah. No, I don't know. I'll just all the usual stuff. Mystery meat, right? Because it is. Let's be honest. Mysterious meat flavored product, sour cream and lettuce and tomato and sort of a little bit of a spicy kick sauce, not crazy, but something kind of with a good kick. Maybe some beans in there, shredded cheese, pile it up. I'm in.
You said boring and then you listed like 10 ingredients. It's not that boring.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, all right.
Keith, thank you for being such a Canadian lover. We love you up here. We're going to keep rocketing your songs to #1. So I appreciate your time and all the best.
So good to see you, Greg.
Thanks so much, man. See you later.
See you soon, brother. Bye now.